So the big release of this week, one of the biggest releases of this year, at least one of everyone's, I think, most anticipated releases of the year. Mr. David Fincher has collaborated with Mr. Michael Fassbender to adapt a French graphic novel entitled The Killer that dropped on Netflix yesterday. Very highly anticipated, obviously, David Fincher, one of the kings, one of the goats of the film industry. So let's get into that review. We'll start, obviously, non-spoiler thoughts, and then we'll get into a little more spoilery stuff later down the line. Seth, we'll start with you. Thoughts on The Killer?
Yeah, so I watched it like a few weeks ago, or like 2 weeks ago. I'm glad I got to watch it in the cinema. I think this is one that's like made for the big screen. Mainly because I think it has some of the best sound design of the year. I think the sound design is crazy, crazy good. I think The Killer is one. Whilst I was looking forward to it, it wasn't like something I was really excited for because I like Fincher, like I like him. He's a great filmmaker, but I'm not like crazy on a lot of his films. But this probably surpassed my expectations in that I posted on my Twitter last night my Fincher rankings that people were very, very annoyed at me about. It comes in at 4th right now on my Fincher list, which is pretty high.
I don't hate that though. Like I think I have it at number 5.
Yeah, it's like apparently people were fucking like going crazy at me for having it over like 7.
Yeah, like I don't hate that.
And I think it's really, really, really good. I mean, not to mention I love Michael Fassbender. I think he's one of the best actors working today. And I think what I like most about The Killer is it's like, as I think I mentioned this in my review, it's like as like ruthless as it is just ridiculous and funny. It's very self-critical. It's very on, the pursuit of perfection. It's very almost like a biographical piece. I can't speak. You know what I'm trying to say. Piece of Fincher's life as a filmmaker, and I think it's striving for that. And I think it's like people have compared it to. I saw Doug made a video on like the Hitman games, compared it to that, which is kind of a cool little. There's definitely homage to like Le Samurai, which I haven't seen, and other many great assassin films. I think it works so well. When it's good, it's great. When it's funny, it's really funny. It has these subtleties, these nuances, and when it comes to the big action sequences, we'll speak about in a bit. There is one like 1-to-1 fight sequence. I would say that George says best of the year. I would say second behind what a certain one in John Wick, which obviously I'll mention. But that was just so exciting and enthralling, and I think it works on such a level that it retains the tense nature for me of Seven, Gone Girl, Zodiac, whatever, and then kind of retains that, but also adds a certain absurdist quality that I don't think Fincher has. Obviously, a lot of Fincher's films are satirical, namely Fight Club, etc. But I think it kind of works on a level where it's kind of self-critical and self-absorbed, but in a really passionate sense. I love the opening. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of like over-the-top like narration. I love that. I think it really works in this film. And I think like visually, it was so perfect. Some of the shots of the opening sequence. I actually think so. I gave it a 4, but I think this will go up over time. I can imagine this being like a 4.5 on another watch. I probably will watch it again because I think it's really, really great. And so far, it's one of my favorite finishes probably ever. Like in the top 4, as I say, 4th right now. And I just think I love the amount of. I know I spoke about this, but the amount of like product placement, which is obviously there to show how many people can kill you and stuff like that. I think that's really, really clever, and I think it's just a Netflix thing. I think it's just funny, and I think that it's kind of subtle and quiet, but also loud and ambitious, and not what I was expecting at all. I remember when I saw the early reviews of it, people saw it like New York Film Festival, London here. People were talking about it like it was like a pretty run-of-the-mill Hitman film. I actually personally disagree. I think it's so nuanced in the way that it's set out. I think its narrative is run-of-the-mill and straightforward, but I think it's actually a quite critical character study of Fassbender as a character and David Fincher as a director. Yeah, really, really good for me. 4 out of 5, could potentially go up to 4.5 on rewatch. I imagine it will. Best sound design of the year and one of the best scores of the year, probably only beaten by maybe Oppenheimer for me. I think it was really, really great. So yeah, really, really liked it. Great film.
Tyler, thoughts on the film?
First off, I saw the tweet about like the DP saying like Michael Fassbender never like blinked on screen this whole movie before I watched it. So then I watched it and I was focused on it the whole time. He blinks so much. He blinks hundreds of times.
I tweeted that last night, Tyler. He blinks
There's scenes where he like you can tell he's like purposely holding his eyes open longer. But watching the movie after seeing that tweet, I was like, I just kept noticing, like, dude's blinking all the time. What is this cinematographer talking about? He's
the whole time, man.
Yeah. And then like the way with that, they like end the movie with him like, blinking. Like that's not a spoiler or anything, but then like I feel like they're trying to make it be like he never blinked the whole time. Like he blinked so much for this movie. I don't know what these guys are smoking and talking about. But yeah, I was gonna, so yesterday I was at the aquarium, I was gonna go see it in theaters with Riley. So happy I didn't, because she would like, this was not like an exciting, engaging, like tense thriller. I for most people, I think that they're gonna like, I think she would find it boring, and I wouldn't blame that because I didn't like love it as much as as most people. Definitely another like he's literally me movie. Like I said in my letterbox, would be like, so many people are gonna be saying stick to the plan all the time now. Like it's gonna be like a thing. Yeah, Trent Reznor's score and the whole sound design was so good. And this is easily the best part of the movie for me. I listened to it like just cranked up with like these studio quality headphones on. Like that was the best part of the movie for me. I absolutely loved it. Michael Fassbender was really good. It's like a interesting, like sociopathic, psychotic performance while also being like incredibly reserved, because obviously he is like, controlling his heart rate, being super calm and collected, because when you're trying to be a perfect hitman like he is, he's got to stick to the plan, have redundancies. It's like don't be worried and stressed about things. But yeah, David Fincher's just never really been like my kind of guy, and he still kind of isn't. Like The Social Network's like my favorite movie ever, but other than that, I think I'm lower on like every Fincher film than most people. This is kind of the same for me. I was not for a single second was I really ever like engaged or like felt like the thrills of this movie. Like I was never super locked in. It was an interesting pursuit of perfection. I feel like that's Fincher's bag. Like Mark Zuckerberg in The Social Network, Robert Graysmith is played by Jake Gyllenhaal in Zodiac. I think Fincher's really drawn to people trying to achieve perfection in whatever they're setting out to do, and The Killer is just another one in that universe of Fincher's analysis, people trying to be perfect. One thing I liked about the writing was that, like, in the beginning of the movie, he talks about like being a hitman is one of the most boring thing ever, because a lot of us are just sitting around doing nothing. So I love how he was like making nods to like watching shows like Storage Wars and like doing stuff like the Daily Wordle. So like these are just like exactly what you would do when you're just
real
so
life
bored.
things.
When you're so bored.
going out and getting like McDonald's and shit.
Right, exactly. Like, I'm just gonna go grab a burger from McDonald's. So I thought that was really clever. But like Seth said, the narrative itself was really generic for a hitman film, so it's like you kind of have to buy into the rest of it, and like the character study and the voiceovers in order to like really latch onto it, which I think 99% of people are. But for me, I was just pretty bored by this, to be honest. Like I gave it a 3 out of 5. I just didn't really like get. I don't know. I just didn't love it that much. But maybe if I rewatch it, I would. But I don't know. I was a little disappointed because I think I watched it obviously after a lot of people did. So I was expecting like high things, even though I knew in the back of my mind, I'm like, I normally don't like Fincher movies as much as most people. But yeah, I haven't seen all of Fincher's movies, but this is like near the bottom for me. With
to be fair, you're not on your own. I had a lot of comments saying like pretty much the same thing. Like a lot of people, it's one of those. It's either going to really work or it's just not.
Yeah, I mean a lot. I mean the reviews on average are like super high. Like I
think if it was like a 3.6.
3.7, I mean, but
okay, yeah, low for I guess like lower for a Fincher film. That's kind of one, or a big Fincher film.
Yeah.
Like,
but
stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get it.
I was just surprised at how much I was bored by this, honestly. But Michael Fassbender is great. He's a shit person, but he was good in the movie.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, we should actually mention that because we mentioned that with Jonathan Majors and shit. Michael Fassbender's
like, Michael Fassbender, bad guy. Like, there's a reason he probably was able to play this role so well.
Oh God.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, but I think actually I don't know what Cam rated it, but between us three, I'm
He didn't finish it, did he?
Oh right, he didn't finish it.
I haven't finished, so
right, I forgot. Yeah, I'm the highest between the three of us. I really fucking liked it. I did go in expecting like a little bit more of a fast-paced Hitman type of movie. I hadn't read the graphic novel prior, so I didn't really know what to expect. But
do you want to read it?
I have it, yeah. I plan on reading it. I didn't want to read it before the movie, and I've just kind of like delayed myself ever since. But yeah, once I kind of bought into this very like drawn out, meditative kind of like half revenge.
It was meditative, yeah.
It was like super like it was just a very subtle movie, and for some reason I really like that because I think that's just the side of being a hitman that movies don't necessarily show, just how meticulous you have to be in your craft to like be an effective hitman and like stay alive in that line of occupation. And I think that's one thing David Fincher in this movie does really, really well is just it just felt like they took a lot of care in this movie, and it felt like Michael Fassbender took a lot of care in this role, and in all of his mannerisms, and I just really appreciated that. I think from a technical standpoint, this movie is just meticulous. It does feel very, Fincher-esque. I feel like if I had seen this movie without knowing who the filmmaker was, I would have said David Fincher. It's just very dark. It's very gritty. It's a little more reserved and a little more introspective than, let's say his other Seven or Fight Club or Gone Girl. And I just think it makes for a little bit more of a personal experience here, because, just like Joaquin and Joker, he's in every single scene. Michael Fassbender is in every single scene. So it just feels like a very intimate movie, and you're just kind of watching this hitman move from point A to point B to point C. Sorry if you could hear my dog in the background. He's going crazy right now upstairs.
It sounds like 10 dogs, bro. I thought it was like a group of them.
Oh, you could actually hear him? Damn.
Yeah. I thought it was like 10 dogs.
Annoying fucking dog. But yeah, I don't even know where I was. The dog fucking.
When you were saying about the cast, the like being so focused on him, I was surprised. Probably the maximum amount of screen time any other cast member has is like 5 minutes. Literally.
Yeah, literally. I think it's like Tilda Swinton, who has like another like 7 minutes of screen time.
I thought she'd be. I love Tilda. She's
dude. I swear, I did not know she was in the movie, and when she popped up, I was like, wow.
Did you not see her in the trailer?
Didn't watch the trailer.
Oh right, okay, because she was. But
yeah,
she was only in it for like.
I watched like the teaser, and I don't think she was in the teaser.
No.
But yeah, she pops up, and I was like, "Where the fuck did you come from?" And then she was on screen literally for like 8 minutes, and she just like completely took over, which was just unbelievable. But yeah, she's just a queen. Yeah, but I really
my favorite actress. Like working today, I think she's like mine.
She's like up there for me,
above Olivia Colman.
No,
Olivia Colman's different because Olivia Colman's a fantastic actress, but I prefer from so far. I prefer the projects. Tilda Swinton picks really interesting projects, and I haven't seen The Favourite, for example. But Tilda Swinton, like if you look for her filmography, she's done like everything recently, and I think you look at the difference in her performance in like this, for example, or like Snowpiercer. Do you know what I mean? Like she can portray so many different characteristics, and I think it's a really interesting. I think she's a really interesting actress who can do like everything. I think she's she's a true chameleon in my eyes.
She's just one of those actresses that you put her on screen in any situation, she's going to like take command. Like she's just that person. Like she's sitting across Michael Fassbender, who's in my eyes one of the greatest of our generation, one of the greatest the last couple of decade or so. And she makes, Michael Fassbender just look like a right bitch because she is just so commanding in her scene. She is just such a force. And she, again, like 8 minutes of screen time and give her supporting actress nomination.
Yeah, she was really, really good.
I do like how like the way they portray like a hit. Like, and I haven't seen a ton of like pure hitman movies, but so many movies are so generic. Like the one that comes to mind, which every movie falls into. So I'm not just picking out Grand Budapest Hotel, but like Willem Dafoe and Grand Budapest Hotel. Like all hitmen are like that, where it's like just a big menacing guy who's just like scary and gonna kill you. Like in reality, it's gonna have to be someone like this who's meticulous, hidden, has all these backup plans, redundancies, because like you can't, it's just not really a job you can do and get away with if you're like actually just going to be a tough guy walking from like city to city, like, oh, you need someone killed, I'll go kill him. Like you got to be an actual like psycho madman like this guy is. So I appreciated a different look on the whole hitman thing.
I love the change of locations as well. I love the constant like changing, constant doing things, going for different people. I just thought it was, I agree. Some of the Hitman films, like, I mean, did you guys watch the Hitman film based on the games? I'm assuming you didn't.
I imagine it's awful.
Shit's terrible, like awful, as all game adaptations are, obviously. But this is like a fresh, refreshing person because it puts you in the real world. Like he's like you said, Wordle, McDonald's, again an Amazon Prime delivery. It really puts you. The whole thing was like a fucking.
The product placement was crazy in the movie.
Not only did it make fucking them a lot of money because the amount is ridiculous, but it does work within this film because like showing real usage, a real human being in this environment, and you feel like it's actually real. So this is like a product placement where it's like, okay, yeah, that's actually really cool. Rather than you mean like I know people said I didn't watch it. The Haunted Mansion this year had like crazy amount of product placement this year,
Movie
but I
also
imagine that was
sucked.
I imagine that was to the point where it was annoying. Do you know what I mean? It didn't work within the film, whereas this kind of does.
Worked for this, yeah. There's a level of campiness in The Killer that worked really well. I thought that was like one of the best thing of it. How they worked in the comedy and the campiness.
The comedy like hit. Like he drops the line, "What would John Wilkes Booth do?" And I was like, no way did they just drop that line in this fucking movie.
It's funny, like it's surprisingly
It's
funny.
hysterical. Like.
Also, if you like the Smiths as well, like you're gonna fucking love this.
Yeah, that was so funny. One of my favorite. I think the top Letterboxd review right now. Hold on,
it's Rachel Sennett's. Like that's that sound.
Oh no, yeah, no. The third highest Letterboxd review is least sociopathic the Smiths fan.
Wait, I third highest.
That dropped. Fuck, you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Fuck. I was
10.
there.
I'm fucking 10, bro. I was 1 at one point because I saw it early, and then everyone
you
passed
said it too early. Like, I'm playing Heron for me right now.
I know. I saw that movie too early, and my review got lost in the sauce. Yeah. But yeah, you guys touched on it, but I also want to just make a note. The sound design was fucking brutal. But it was also just so anxiety driven. There was this constant like little thud, like a little heartbeat in the back of the sound design, which just, and then like on top of the sound design, all of a sudden, like the movie will become like very distressed and very a little haunted, and the sound design will kind of like drop, and all you'll hear is that little heartbeat in the background, and then you have like Michael Fassbender's just like hauntingly calm narration. And I say haunting because in a line of work that he's so calm about what he's doing. Like he's about to
earphones in, take it about.
Yeah, he's got his earphones in, he's playing the Smiths. He's narrating. He's saying, you know what Tyler said. All the film bros will say. What was it? Don't improvise, anticipate, shit like that. And it's so calm when you think about what line of work he's in, because he's too calm about slaughtering someone, and it just makes for such like a nerve-wracking experience, which I fucking loved. The more I think on this movie, the more I really liked it. I wish I had seen it once more prior to reviewing this, because I feel like just in case my thoughts would have changed. But after one viewing, I really enjoyed this movie. We have to talk about that one fight scene, because it's obviously just like the best thing ever.
It was really, really exciting. Like it kind of caught me off guard. It was so well shot, so intricate. It was really, really well choreographed. And it was like, I think it was, how long was it? Maybe 5 minutes, something like that.
It ran for a long, and it was also just, it was so unexpected, because the whole movie was just, everything he does, he was very calm, he was very strategic. So you kind of expected him to walk into this house, whatever, catch this dude lacking in the shower,
headshot,
quick headshot, gone, out of the house, cleans up his mess, that's it. And then obviously he's walking into a door, and then the guy comes from behind him and tackles him, and then that leads to this fucking, like you said, Seth, it had to have been like 5-6 minutes. It ran for a long time.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it ran for a long time.
The dog's like chasing him out, and I was like so tense during
dude.
The dog's just like,
I was like, please don't shoot the fucking dog. I was like, do not shoot the dog.
Because you know the dog starts crying when he sees the body. I was like,
I was like, damn, if you're gonna shoot the dog, I'll be fucking furious.
It's like a half a star right now.
but no, that the fight scene was just, it was very well choreographed. They did a really good job at like playing into the house and kind of using like everything at their disposal. Like they're not there's one gun in the entire scene, and they're kind of like fumbling it back and forth. But other than that, they're throwing chairs at each other, they're throwing each other into tables. He pulls out a cheese grater at one point, and I wish, oh my God, I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, please just scrape this dude's arm off for me real quick. Like that would be fucking fantastic. But they didn't end up using that, which I was very, very sad about, which makes me sound like a fucking psychotic idiot. But yeah, that whole fight scene was just, I don't know. It was the fact that it was just drawn out so long. And it was really like one of those things where it's like, Michael Fassbender's character, the killer, is the main character, but like the scene itself does such a good job at like not really giving him this like godlike, like it's like John Wick, where like John Wick prior to 3 and 4, John Wick in movies 1 and 2, he feels like he can be defeated. And there are people that overpower him, but John Wick just uses his wit and his knowledge to win. And that's what it felt like in The Killer, where like it didn't feel like Michael Fassbender's character just had all of this plot armor. Like he was getting his ass fucking kicked.
He was getting beaten by this big guy.
Dude, he was getting dumped. Yeah, he was getting dumped on for a while. And it got to a point where I was like, is this going to be the end of the movie where like they just like he fails like this? He's been so meticulous throughout the entire movie. He's been so is that how they're going to end this movie, with him just not being like aware of his surroundings and losing because of a lapse of judgment or something? But yeah, really, really good fight scene. Really
best fight scene of the year.
Second best. The fuck.
Oh, you'll find out, won't you?
Yeah, I will. It has got to be something in John Wick, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be something in John Wick. Anything like, I mean, I know we're kind of like in spoilers, but anything specific spoilery that you guys want to talk about? I know I think we should touch on the ending, because I think that's been like a point of division for a lot of people, just because even I give this movie a 4.5, but even I can kind of see that like the ending, it's very abrupt. It kind of just like, I don't want to say comes out of nowhere, but it just feels like, I don't know, it felt like this movie had another 20 to 30 minutes of screen time worthy of it, and it just kind of ends. So
I thought we were going to get another mid-pod monster delivery right there, but I think the ending might be a little poetic to what the movie's about, like, and what hitmen are about. It's like when a hitman's after you, your life kind of just ends abruptly, and his life as a hitman kind of ends abruptly, and he kind of blinks, and he kind of realizes he's like, okay, can finally have a little bit of reprieve here. So, like, I think if you read into it that way, it can kind of make some logical sense. Whereas if you're watching it as like a standard thriller that you want to get, like excitement and enjoyment and a standard movie out of, the ending might be abrupt, like you said. I didn't realize it was like dividing people, but I guess I could see it. Like the ending is a little abrupt, but I think it's kind of like the ending of everyone in this movie's life is very abrupt. I mean, we're in spoilers now. Like Tilda Swinton's, I mean, it's abrupt in terms of how it happens for the viewer, but I think she obviously knew, she's like, either he's dying or I'm dying right now. Like, I don't think she expected to survive that if she wasn't going to kill him there, because obviously we see she had like the knife in her hand when he shoots her. Quick side note, like Cam texted, he's like, because he didn't finish, he's like, 40 minutes in, there's been no kills. Like 10 minutes in, there's a kill. Like, or at least I guess we don't do it. I don't think we get.
Well, I don't.
No clue if she died or not. She was shot in the leg.
But I mean, she was sniped, and she like, I don't know. I feel like she probably.
I was incorrect, but still.
But she was also like a prostitute or something, right? So I don't think they were rushing to get her medical attention. I'm sure they were rushing to save the guy. They probably just let her there to die.
I'm just saying, all right, still 1 kill in 45 minutes. And as soon as I sent that text to, he killed that like cab driver right after. And I was like, oh, there. But I did forget about that.
Yeah, I was honestly a little annoyed when he shot that woman too, because like, and I guess like that's kind of the point of the movie, is like you're always chasing perfection, but you're never going to be perfect. But he just had so many opportunities to kill that guy, and then like right even before he pulled the trigger, I'm like, this is not the time to pull it. What are you doing here? Like I get it was like he's running.
Like I was also thinking like we don't even get this guy at his peak for the like at this. I kind of figured he'd start off being this crazy killer, and then something would happen, which is kind of opposite. But we didn't even see him at his peak. Nice.
Yeah, you wanted to see some clean kills.
Clean kills for a little.
Like I mean, all he does is monologue to himself and trying to become perfect, and he's messing up the first kill we see in the movie. Like, come on, man, you had like 2 minutes before to just kill that guy, but he was a horny dude. He's alone most of the time. He was just like watching. He's like, you know what? Let's see where this goes for a little bit. Let's see if I get any little peaks before
his kill with the nail gun. I thought was hysterical, because he jams 3 into this dude's chest, and he's like, "You got about 20 minutes," and then like 3 minutes later, this dude is dead, and he's like, "Oh shit!" It's like fuck,
and the dude just falls over like on the chair, and then he's like quickly like throws like a newspaper under him. He's like catching all the blood. He's like, "Don't want to make it spill."
Oh my god! And then this is where I thought the movie was going to take like a slight turn. The guy he kills with the nail gun had like the assistant that he takes hostage to go get that information. I truly thought he was going to let her go, and that was going to be like, I thought that was going to be like the downfall of his character, where he does show empathy and he does let her go, and that would eventually come back to bite him in the ass. But he just snaps her neck right on the spot and just drops her out of nowhere. Because I was truly in the mindset that like, okay, this is going to be like the turning point of his character. He's going to let her go, and it's going to lead to some bad shit for him. But nope, snapped her neck.
That's crazy.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else spoilery you guys want to talk about?
No, I think it was all. I imagine.
no.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up kind of our review of The Killer. Seth 4, myself 4.5, Tyler 3, Cam undecided because he has yet to finish the movie. For me, this sits at number 5 of my David Fincher ranking right now. I'd be curious to see on rewatch if this goes up or down. But I will say, for some reason, I haven't rewatched like Seven or Fight Club or Zodiac.
I haven't rewatched Zodiac. Zodiac's 3 right now, but I haven't rewatched it in like 3 years.
Yeah,
so
I
just
Zodiac the most. I think in his. I guess I haven't in a while, but I used to watch it a lot.
yeah. I mean, The Social Network is one I revisit pretty often, obviously. But like, I don't know. For some reason, I don't find myself revisiting a lot of Fincher films the way I do a lot of other filmmakers. So I'd be curious to go through his filmography once more.
My Tarantino, like in a way, where I like all the films, or like most of them, but I never find myself rewatching them at any point. I don't like. I just don't go back to them.
Yeah. I mean, I can honestly say the same about Tarantino too. Outside of like Django Unchained and The Hateful Eight, believe it or not, those two I find myself rewatching pretty often. But yeah, let's what. Who?
I was gonna say for me, this is like I said, I've only logged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Finchers. It's second to last for me. The only one below it is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. But even though I'm lower than most, I feel like most like diehard Fincher fans wouldn't like hate my ranking of The Social Network, Fight Club, Gone Girl, Seven, Zodiac, then The Killer, then Curious Case of Benjamin Button. So even though I'm like lower than most on Fincher, I feel like my order of them, like I feel like a lot of Fincher stans wouldn't hate. So
yeah, makes sense. I think mine will probably go up actually on rewatch. I think it'll go to to third. I think
Social Network for me is just miles above everything.
it is kind of weird how like George, do you have the Social Network at first?
Yeah, of course.
Wait, Cam, do you have the Social Network at first?
Yeah, we've done this.
But I'm also like I have The Social Network at first, but I'm like unlike Tyler. Like for me, it's his number 1. But like I don't have 7 that far behind on like my all-time great rankings.
I only have
I love 7.
I only have a 5, and then I think it's 4s or Gone Girl is a 4.5, then the rest like 4s, 3s. But I think that Social Network, it's not his highest rated like on Letterboxd stuff, so it's kind of surprising that we all have it number 1.
Is it really not? What's his highest rating?
It's 4th, like Fight Club 7 or 5.3, Gone Girl 4.1.
The film bros prevail.
Yeah.
Sophie's like the biggest Fincher fan in the world, though, and that's her favorite. Her favorite is The Social Network.
Yeah,
also.
so
Like the King Fincher.
Yeah.